what I wanted to talk about was how it's sort of by design, we are meant to live in this calm, what we'd call parasympathetically aroused or rest and digest state. And when we're in that state, our bodies are digesting food, they are repairing themselves, etc. And then we have this other magnificent sort of survival state, which is the sympathetically aroused, so the fight flight system. And I think understanding the difference between these two is really helpful for people to understand why we're talking about poo and how the manifestations of this chronic stress can have such a huge impact. So with the fight flight system, it's there for emergencies. It's there for when the tiger jumps out of you on Wanaka High Street or wherever you are. And so we've had these really finely tuned sort of alarm and emergency system that's been there for hundreds of thousands of years. And it was designed for when we were at a time that lived in chronic, or maybe not chronic, but constant life threat, because we could have been raided by other tribes, there could have been the tigers, etc. The issue we've got, and which is so front and center in my mind, especially around COVID, and especially what you've said, Jerry, about this invisible war, is that our body can't tell the difference between the tiger or lion jumping out at you or sitting in front of the TV watching chronic sort of fear porn news headlines that are specifically designed to keep you entranced, because then they'll get the advertising revenue, etc. And what we have now is vast numbers of people, most of the world, I would imagine, whose bodies are still reacting in that way that is for quick short-term survival, so you can fight or run away from that tiger. We have these sort of cascades of chemicals and hormones in our body that are taking blood to our major muscle groups, etc., so we can fight or run away. What happens is that when we're in that state, digestion stops, because in terms of survival, it's not important to digest food when you're running away from that tiger, but that's only meant to be for a few seconds or a few minutes. And so if you're constantly in that state of sympathetic arousal, the long-term damage and stress, the chronic stress on your body, is not to be shrugged off. It does need to be shrugged off.